What's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It is April 2nd, 2021, and we are here for another Friday night SmackDown post show. How are you guys doing tonight? Let me know what you guys thought about the show. It is that point. We are finally to that point. There's one more episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. And actually, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure or not if there's going to be an actual episode of Friday Night SmackDown next week. It kind of seems like it's all WrestleMania themed. So I'm not even sure if we're going to actually get that or not. So I'm not sure if SmackDown is actually going to be a go home show or not. I'm not quite sure what to expect out of it, to be honest with you. But yeah, anyways, how are you guys doing here? Let's see here. James is here. Anthony Hoodie, how are you doing, my friend? The Lad is here. Obi James, how are you doing? Brian Flash, my fellow disciple, how are you doing, my friend? He says, I regret so much stop watching Demon Slayer in order to see this episode. Oh, yeah, man. Tonight's episode of SmackDown, I'm not gonna lie, it was brutal. It was really, really hard to sit through, at least for me tonight. Chloe says, hey, OW, we're about to start streaming, so I just want to say enjoy your post show and someone give me that $69 million. Yes, please. $69 million, just a little bit amount of money. Just a little bit. We need it. Enjoy your stream. Have a good night. I really want to start getting into game streaming more. This is killing me. This is killing me, man. Oh, this is killing me. So we are going to have a little bit of a shorter show tonight, probably somewhere around an hour. I have some other things to do after this. So yeah, we'll probably be somewhere around an hour, maybe a little bit longer. But I cannot go for 2 hours tonight, unfortunately. Obi James says, forget SmackDown. Can we talk about the Forbidden Door? We will talk about that as well today before we get into SmackDown. Just a couple things to run through before we start talking about the show. But yeah, anyways, how you guys doing? Bosley, I see you. How you doing, my friend? Let's see here. I saw it first. How are you doing, Owen? Good to see you, Josh, as well. JBOJ, how are you doing, my friend? Ashton, how you doing, my friend? It's been a while. Good to see you. Good to see you. Marcel says, guys, we can't criticize Apollo's accent because we are racist then. I hate when people think that way. I'm not a fan of that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, I thought Apollo's accent was kind of growing on me. And after tonight, I can't, man. I can't. I can't. I just can't take it. Flash says, AW, you should do a Dark Elevation post show next Monday. There's no need to see Baron Corbin. Ugh. Yeah, man. Raw is going to be brutal. Raw is going to be brutal. I really want to change things around. I'm not necessarily sure what I want to change or how things would change or anything, but I don't know. I do want to make some changes at least going through in the future. Leroy says, today was terrible for me because the Wi-Fi went out at my house while I was watching WrestleMania 34. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Sorry to hear that, my friend. Andre says, is Broken Skull Sessions after Mania? I think it comes out before. I think it comes out before WrestleMania does. Ashton says, I wonder if Apollo's accent was real and he was hiding it the entire time. I doubt it. I doubt it. Who knows? Stranger things have happened, though. I still do not like it, though. I don't like it either way. Rocco says, I'm more excited for the Stone Cold podcast than WrestleMania. Me too, man. Me too. I'm actually very, very, very excited for that. So maybe we should talk about that first. Let's get into talking about... Edit says, wait, I actually hate you, but still end up coming here. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you too, my friend. Damn. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about today is the incredible episode of the Broken Skull Sessions that we are about to be blessed with. This happens on April 11th. April 11th, which is, let me look here, that is the Sunday. So this will come out, I imagine, I saw the Peacock schedule, I think this comes out before WrestleMania Night 2. So expect this early in the morning or maybe at midnight. I have no idea, but I am very excited to watch this. Chris Jericho, AEW's Chris Jericho, joins Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull Sessions show on, well, not the WWE Network anymore, joins him on Peacock. On Peacock. How you doing, No Hacks? Good to see you, my friend, my fellow disciple. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Marcel says the real Forbidden Door. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, man. Like, I'm happy for this. I'm very happy for this. You know, Chris Jericho, he's the GOAT. You know, like, there's no way to beat around the bush for it. Jericho is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's been around all of these years. He's done a million different things. He's recreated himself a bunch of different times. He's always managed to stay on top, reinventing himself so well. And now here he is. You know, he helps create AEW, helps put it together here. And now here he is on a WWE show. Oh, man. I'm so excited to see what they talk about. I hope that it's not censored too much. I hope that they do go into AEW as much as they possibly can and stuff like that. I'm very excited for this. Bob says, hey, OW, can't watch tonight. I got to do something. Have a great night. No worries, man. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night, my friend. Ashton says, Broken Skull craft beer or a little bit of the bubbly. How about a little bit of both? How about a little bit of both? We actually have 2 bottles of a little bit of the bubbly at our house, but we haven't cracked them open yet. I do want to try Stone Cold's Broken Skull beer, but I have not seen. I don't think they have it in Oregon yet. So, James says, finally, WWE will witness an AEW invasion. It's going to be interesting, man. I can't wait to see what they talk about. I can't wait to see what they talk about. And there is a lot to talk about. There's a lot. You know, reportedly, I believe Chris Jericho is the one that said this. He said that before he even went, or, you know, when he signed with AEW and you know, signed on to put it all together, he told Vince, he talked to him multiple times, and there were supposedly no hard feelings about any of it. So who knows if that's the truth? I'm sure he'll elaborate more on here about it. So I'm just really excited to hear it. I really am. You know, from what I recall, from what I remember, he said that, you know, Vince didn't allow him to do the things that he wanted to do creatively, you know, with the whole Kevin Owens Festival of Friendship, stuff like that. They weren't able to put that together, and he wasn't happy with his creative, so he parted ways. So Punk says, you think Chris will talk about AEW? They'd have to. There's no way around it. If they don't talk about AEW in the show, I'll be extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed, man. Like, that would be terrible. I don't think that's the case. I also need to make sure how my CPU is doing, because this stupid Sami Zayn video. Let me see. Let me make sure my computer's not about to explode here. No, we're good. No, we're good. Man, I really need computer parts to be available. Okay? I really need computer parts to be available. I need to buy the new CPU, the new Ryzen CPU, and the RTX 3080. I would kindly love to have you in my life, please. Deshaun says, damn, WWE is worse than wedding planning. I can only imagine. Can only imagine. If you're planning a wedding, though, congratulations. Congratulations, my friend. Anthony says, Chris Jericho on the Broken Skull sessions is such good shit. Yes. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Let's see here. Another Anthony says, I'm hoping we see the Brothers of Destruction and WrestleMania to send off Kane. That'd be cool. Adidas says the real talk is that this Forbidden Door is nothing. Austin just wanted Jericho, and he said yes, and this will end after Stone Cold session ends. Yeah, I don't think that this is anything crazy. I don't think that anything crazy is going to come out of this. I think it is just what it is. I think that's it. From what I understand is that Stone Cold wanted Chris Jericho on there. He checked with Vince twice, from what I heard. Vince said he was cool with it. Jericho's cool with it. I'm assuming Tony Khan is cool with it. Why wouldn't he be? So yeah, I don't think this has anything to actually do with WWE in general. I think this is more of a Stone Cold thing. I wouldn't expect to see any sort of partnership between WWE and AEW, especially not in the near future. But you know, this is a good stepping stone for sure. This is absolutely a very good stepping stone. Obi James says Sami is killing me. I had to. Punk says, according to WrestleVote, Sasha versus Bianca main events night 1. Crazy. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm totally cool with that. Let me see exactly what they said here. WrestleVotes. Man, I love WrestleVotes. Shout out to WrestleVotes. They haven't posted anything. They haven't posted anything in a while, so I don't know where you got that from, Punk. Bosley says, when will the great AOW get married? Hopefully next winter. Next winter, I think, is when we're looking to do it, when all of this COVID stuff is wrapped up and people can actually travel and you can actually do things. Hopefully by that time we'll be able to do it. Now we got a house and all that good stuff, so it's next on the list. It is the next thing on the list. Bosley says Cody on it next. I would love to see Cody Rhodes on it. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, I didn't see anything from WrestleVotes. Fiance face reveal. Maybe, you know, we had talked about, instead of doing post shows, just doing watch alongs instead. She doesn't watch Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, so she said she'd be interested maybe in doing the Dynamite watch along, because I mean, we do watch it together, you know, So she said that she might be interested in doing that, and she's down to do a Q&A with me sometime as well. I don't know. It'll probably be not on camera because I'm not sure when I'm actually going to have one. Trying to get one is a pain in the ass. Still, the one that I want is completely sold out everywhere. So, Flash says, since Philip is not here, apparently I want AOW to close the show with a picture of a Nigerian drum. All right, Flash. Ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. We'll do the same thing. So, if you do not spam tonight, at the end of the show, we will put a Nigerian drum on the screen. There you go. There you go. Deshaun says, imagine if WWE actually opened the forbidden door for other promotions. That would be crazy. Be crazy. Punk says, no, he tweeted about that. I think WrestleVotes deleted that tweet. Well, if he did post it and then, or one of them did post it and then deleted it, I don't really think that is a good sign. I don't think that's a good sign if it was deleted. I don't know. I think there's like 7 or 8 dudes that are WrestleVotes. It's not one person. So, I don't know. It's possible. Bosley says, I heard Philip will be at your wedding. Yes, he's going to be the officiator or whatever. The guy that marries us. Let's see here. James says next week's SmackDown is going to make WrestleMania 37 look like it has 3 parts. Yeah, I'm not excited for that whatsoever, if I'm being honest. A WrestleMania edition of SmackDown, I'm not here for it. Not here for it. Especially for a match that we've already seen 3 times now, pretty much. Like, meh. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, it doesn't look very good, man. It doesn't look very good. Matthew says, well, guys, I think this is the worst build to a Big 4 pay-per-view I've ever seen. Yeah. It really is, man. Like, it's crazy. I'm not excited for any of this. I'm really not. Like, I don't even want to watch these shows, if I'm being honest with you, at the moment. It's so painful to even just have to sit here and sit back and watch them. Like, they're not entertaining anymore. It's not good. There's hardly anything on them to enjoy. The matches don't make any sense. You know, they had all this women's revolution stuff, the fighting for equal rights, showing that they can actually wrestle in the ring and stuff. And then you have Natalya beating Shayna Baszler in less than 20 seconds on SmackDown. Come on. Really? Like, this is the best that you got? And we're talking about Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler. Does anyone remember Shayna Baszler from NXT? Long gone and forgotten, all for some reason because they're seeking to push Big all the way to the moon. And I don't understand. Obi James says Raw is unwatchable at this point. I know. I hate it, man. Marcel says New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong has its own belt now. Is that what you were saying? That's crazy. That's cool. Ashton says it's the Jobber Memorial Battle Royal. That's what it feels like. Let's look at the listing for. Okay, I was typing in Andrade. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Let's look at who were in them previously. Winners. Oh, they're not gonna say who won them all, or they're not gonna say who were in all of them. Oh, this list is way too hard to go through. No way. Jared says I might watch Paw Patrol instead of WrestleMania. That's probably not a bad idea. The great Stone Cold Steve Austin says, AOW, do you want to be on the Broken Skull sessions? I would love to meet Stone Cold, man. Stone Cold is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. List of all former on Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal participants. Andre says, speaking of Andrade, it was said that he refused to go back to NXT. Yep, he said that he felt like it was a downgrade, like it would be going backwards. So, I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him. Okay, so this is on, what is this? Sports Illustrated, I think. Full list of Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal participants. Oh, this was from 2019. Yeah, anyways, I don't know. I don't care. Maybe I'll post it some other time, but I'm really not looking forward to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think it says WWE on Fox tweeted what? Rocco says, I didn't watch Raw, so I didn't know if it was truly that bad, but the WWE stand were even shitting all over the Reddit on Instagram. Yeah, it was really bad, dude. It was really, really bad. WWE on Fox. Let's see. Didn't I post the participants on my IG? I was talking about previous years. Previous years is what I was talking about. I wanted to go over the participants like through all the years that it has happened to kind of compare them. Philip says, hello, I'm not having a good day. Bring back the Nexus now at WrestleMania 37. Sorry to hear that, my friend. Sorry to hear that, Philip. Hopefully your day gets better, my friend. Marcel says, Logan Paul to be special guest referee. I mean, I don't care at this point, I guess, if I'm being honest. I don't even care anymore. Why not? Why not? If I'm being honest with you as well, I think that the whole Sami Zayn, Logan Paul, and Kevin Owens segment was the best segment on the entire show tonight. Like, easily, too. Leroy says, this is a weird question, but what if Shayna Baszler actually beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania last year? Be crazy. Now she just can't win at all, period. Nigma says, this SmackDown should go into the list of ways to torture a person. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this episode of SmackDown was not it, man. It was not it at all. And I'm kind of fearful for next week as well, because I believe that both Raw and SmackDown are taped. At least I know for a fact that Raw is taped. I'm not sure if SmackDown is, but they have to move the Thunderdome to a new place. So, Ashley says, where's Bayley been lately? She has no plans for Mania. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of surprising. No Bayley in sight. She just kind of disappeared. She read a mean tweet and we haven't seen her since. Imagine if Shayna Baszler was bald. I don't want to imagine that. That sounds terrifying. Matthew says, it's just hard for me to get behind anything Logan Paul related, but I love Zayn and Owens. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, man. I know a lot of people feel that way. I don't know much about him. Really, all I know is that he's just stupid popular. So, I don't know. Warrior says, I just want to know why Murphy is off TV when they could easily put him and Blake back into a tag team to freshen up the division. I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy too. They brought him back for what, 2 weeks? They had Murphy on TV for 2 weeks randomly, trying to put him back to where he used to be with Father Rollins, and then it obviously didn't connect. So they just took him back off. Like, have him do something else. Murphy is ungodly talented. Like, anything that guy could do amazingly on that show. Marcel says Logan Paul and his forest adventures. Jake Paul is way worse. See, I don't know the difference between the two. I do know about the forest incident, but I can't remember. I don't know which one that was. And I don't know which one's the older one and which one's the younger one. I don't know which one's worse. I know that one of them is worse than the other one, but I'll never remember. Flash says, Sammy's dance and Father Rollins' cotton candy suit were highlights of the night. Changed my mind. Yeah. Father Rollins, his suit game is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Logan is the older one. Oh, okay. Which one was the Forest one? Who did that? Was that Logan or Jake? Let's see. Obi James says Charlotte is going to win the women's battle royal. Oh God, please no. Please no. Obi James says Logan was the Forest. Jake is just an ass. Okay. Crazy that they would put him on here, considering that. But I mean, I guess it does make sense as well, because I saw that he was on the Masked Singer as well. And I saw that he's got a boxing match coming up too, I believe. Is that him? Or is that the other one? Oh, Jake is the boxer. Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know. Just, I mean, I get it, but like, damn. Bad Bunny and Logan Paul for WrestleMania this year. They just care about those YouTube number, baby. Those YouTube numbers. They gotta go to the moon. Marcel says Jake is way worse than Logan. Jake is literally everyone's worst qualities. Oh God. No thanks. Marcel, Logan is facing Floyd in a match. Oh my God. Bro, I can't keep up with this. Philip says, you are the Nexus or you're against us. We're all the Nexus here, my friend. We're all the Nexus. Basilius says, guys, that article about the Hurt Business breaking up and VCam is the reason the one who killed the Hurt Business absolutely broke my heart. Yep, and that is one of the next things that we're going to talk about here. Because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, they got to be a little bit shorter on tonight's show tonight, so I do gotta kind of rush through some of this. Bo Banky's back. Well, welcome, my friend. Welcome. Rocco says Logan is fighting Floyd Mayweather later this year, and Jake Paul is fighting Ben Askren. Okay, so I've seen the Jake Paul stuff recently. Seen that. James says, can you please say such good shit and to the moon with the voice swapped? Such good shit. And to the moon. There you go. Oof. Ashton says Humberto's on main event where he belongs. That's right. He shouldn't even be in this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Pff, please. Please. Philip says in the microphone, can you say you are the Nexus or you are against us? Sure, Philip. I got this for you, bro. You are the Nexus or you're against us. Okay, there you go. Kind of sounds like you threw up. I'm a demon. It's my Vince McMahon voice. Can I get a big? Oh yeah. All right, last one. Victor says, can I get a big? There you go. There you go. All right, so let's talk about the Hurt Business. Let's talk about the Hurt Business and what happened to them, because you know what? The Hurt Business, it pains me to say it, I'm sorry, is not fine. The Hurt Business is not fine. It's terrible. It's depressing. It's sad. It's one of the worst things to happen in 2021. The Hurt Business, it's not fine. It's over. It's a wrap. Oh, no, sorry. My apologies. The Hurt Business is not over. They just got smaller, quote unquote, from MVP. So the Hurt Business is still there, and it is Bobby Lashley and MVP, but Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are no longer members of the Hurt Business. Marcel says, oh my God, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Belt does not look good. You have to send it to me. You have to send it to me. Andre says the Hurt Business is fine. Cedric and Shelton are not. Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. Yeah, I guess you're right. Technically, I guess you are right. Yes, the Hurt Business is fine. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are not. New Japan's Twitter. All right, I'll look it up. Did I close my? Oh, I closed my Twitter. Twitter.com. New Japan. I don't remember the numbers, so I'm gonna have to search for it. Come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I really don't feel like it's that great. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. I'll put up on the screen here. Image. This is going to be New Japan Strong Belt. Yes. Sorry, I'm doing a million things. Japan Strong. Here it is. Holy hell. This is one big ass picture. Okay, there we go. There we go, right there. What do you guys think? New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Belt. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Like, there are some qualities that I do like about it. Like, I like what appears to be the New Japan logo. Like the little circle thing, and then like the rising sun kind of marks on it. I do like that. I don't mind the New Japan Strong logo. I mean, it's certainly not the worst, but it's not the best either. It could definitely be better, but it is 100 times better than the Divas Championship that they they released. Oh God, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. All right, back to Sami. Basley says that article you posted on Instagram explaining how MVP and Lashley fought with VCam to keep the Hurt Business absolutely had my heart broken, and I didn't hate current WWE enough. It's painful, man. It is painful. So yeah, we need to get back to this year. My God, the Divas Championship, yes. The Divas Championship. Andre says I could see Shelton getting fired because he wasn't happy on social media. Was he? Did he mention stuff about it? Can I screw up on your comment? You mean scroll up? Say in the microphone, we are one. No more microphone talking tonight. I gotta get through the show, man. Gotta get through the show. I got like a little bit more than a half an hour left before I gotta get off. Basili says anything looks better than the Universal Championship. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the WWE or Universal Championship. Marcel says give Divas a chance is trending. Good, it should. It should, man, because it's a bunch of bullshit what is going on right now. It really is. A bunch of bullshit. Okay. Let me see here. I saw it first. It's crazy how WWE flew Logan Paul on a private jet, but lay off wrestlers and writers. You hate to see it. LJ said I had to work tonight. AW, how was the show? It was not good, my friend. It was not good. Save yourself some time and just look through the results, because it was crazy. None of it made any sense either whatsoever. So okay, so back to the Hurt Business. So the Hurt Business was split up. Of course, Bobby Lashley and MVP kicked out Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. But before this even happened, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin lost their Raw Tag Team Championships to the New Day. Too soon. You had a really dominant faction going on here. All four of these guys being at the top of their careers, arguably, all at the same time, thanks to MVP. Where was Bobby Lashley before MVP? Not doing very well, man. He was in that feud with Sami Zayn with his sisters, doing that obstacle course kind of stuff and things here. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. Cedric Alexander wasn't doing much either. For a small point, he was teamed up with Ricochet, which was great. I thought that was fantastic. They would have been a great tag team. But him and the Hurt Business was perfect. Like, this group to me was perfect. And I think they could have even added to the Hurt Business. You could have thrown Naomi in there. You could have thrown Ricochet in there. I think he would have been fine as well. You could have thrown Apollo in there if they ever were on the same brands, or even a cross-brand faction. I'm dying to see a really good cross-brand faction in WWE. I think it'd be really good. Keith Lee, if they could manage to throw that in there, I think that would be good as well. But for some reason, and I think I have an idea of why, but for some reason, Vince McMahon said, nah, bro, no more Hurt Business. It's over. When everyone heard it, apparently, according to Fightful Select, people backstage in WWE were not happy about it. I believe Batista was not happy about it either. I think he said something on social media about them breaking up, but a lot of people backstage were not happy about it either. And so MVP and Bobby Lashley themselves went and had a meeting with VKM, and they weren't able to change his mind. Apparently, according to Fightful Select, after the meeting, he was even like more adamant about breaking up the Hurt Business. So it was kind of out of everyone's hands, and VKM was the sole person behind this split up of the group. Now I'm going to tell you why. I think that the Hurt Business was exceeding the expectations of Vince. They were getting over too much. And I think that at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley is just transitioning that WWE Championship right back to Drew McIntyre. I think that's what this entire thing has been for. And I think this just kind of proves it. I think it proves it. Vince McMahon did not want Bobby Lashley or the Hurt Business to be cheered over Drew McIntyre. So you break them up. So you put the worst person in WWE, King Corbin, of all people, you bring him into the mix. Now everyone is going to hate MVP and Bobby Lashley. Just because of the King Corbin affiliation, he's going to drag them down, and that's a wrap. Drew McIntyre will win the WWE Championship back at WrestleMania in front of fans, and Vince will be happy, but then we will be creatively bankrupt once again because Drew has been WWE Champion for over a year now, and we've seen it all. If you ask me, it's time for Bobby Lashley. Plans change, and plans should have changed here. Fans will be back in attendance at some point. This isn't the only time that fans will be here. There is time for Drew McIntyre down the line to reclaim the WWE Championship in front of fans. And I think that right now it should have just been Bobby Lashley. Marcel says, I got April fooled yesterday when someone article said the Snyderverse was restored. Yeah, good luck on that one, man. I hope it happens, though. I hope it happens. Jaden says, hello, AOW. How are we doing? How are you doing, my friend? Welcome, Jaden. Good to see you. Hackerman is in the building. In the building. Elver says, what the F was VKM smoking that made him think of splitting up the Hurt Business? Like I said, I think that Drew McIntyre is the new golden child. Drew McIntyre is the new golden child. And Vince McMahon will do anything and everything he can to keep him on top. I think that's the case. And if that is the case, I don't think that it is going to go very well. I don't think it is. Jaden says it's Hackerman's birthday. Jaden, happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. If we get some happy birthdays in the chat for Jaden here. Happy birthday, my friend. Hopefully you had a great day. And hopefully you have a great weekend too. It's Friday. You got Saturday and Sunday to hang out. So yeah, happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. Leroy says, if not Drew McIntyre, who else could take the WWE Championship from Bobby Lashley? Well, I mean, why is it even a topic of conversation? Why even have someone take the WWE Championship off of Bobby Lashley? Flash says, give Jaden some woos. Yeah, all right, let's give Jaden some woos, man. Eva, this is Ric Flair's way of saying happy birthday, my friend. and then I'll give you one of these.
Damn.
Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. Elvis says if Drew wins back the title at Mania, he'd only win it just to get his special moment with the crowd. And if they keep pushing Drew as the new John Cena, fans are going to get bored and turn on him. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think that everyone's going to turn on Drew McIntyre if he becomes the WWE champion again. I think it's going to happen. Bozy says no one should be taking it. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Yes. No one needs to take the title off of Bobby Lashley right now. He just got it. Like he literally just got it. They're doing all of this work to make Bobby Lashley look great. He's got that new entrance. He's got that lightning strike. Like, it's all good. It's all good right now. So why put it back on Drew McIntyre? What are you going to do afterwards? You've ran through Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre a million times already for like 4 or 5 months. We don't want to see that again. We just gone through Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. We don't need that anymore. We went through Drew and The Miz. We don't need that anymore. And we just went through Drew and Bobby Lashley. Who else is there to step up to Drew McIntyre if he's the WWE champion? The Fiend is there, but we've all learned that you don't put the Fiend in the World Championship picture. That would be a huge no-no. Huge no-no. So who do you have aside from these guys? Don't tell me it's going to be Braun Strowman, the living choo-choo train. Because I can't take that seriously either. The guy that got slimed by Shane McMahon. The guy that has choo-choo train noises before he comes out and when he's running around the ring. That guy does not belong in a world title match. Not today. Not today. Obi James says, give Lashley a reign. He waited over 15 years for a title. Yeah, like, come on. You finally have these people where they're on top of the world and you just sabotage them. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Marcel says, Drew already has a lot of haters. You just can't tell because of the no crowds. I can imagine. Yep. I see a lot of people, who kind of feel similar to me about that. Like, I like Drew McIntyre and I think he's great. But I'm just tired of seeing it, and I think that he will eventually have that moment again. He's not just going to be he's not a one-time, but a 2-time WWE champion. He'll get it back at some point. Like I said, fans being at WrestleMania, it's not the only time fans are ever going to be in attendance at wrestling ever again. It's coming back eventually. So it's fine to do it later down the line. It's fine. Marcel says Drew can only win if they do a double turn. I mean, I'm more interested in that for sure, but I really I'm over Drew McIntyre. I'm over it. And, he should be happy that he was able to help somewhat carry a company through the pandemic. Looking back at all of the time over this past year, Drew McIntyre has been for the most part, a highlight of Raw. And he's been a great WWE champion despite what he's had to go through. He's had to overcome barriers and obstacles that no one else has ever had to go through in the history of time. Like, this has never happened before. It's a historic moment. And so he should be proud of that. There's no need to tarnish it or run it back just because he needs some fans to cheer him. Like I said, it'll happen one day. But you shouldn't take away from someone else who's on top of the world right now just to do that, because if they do that, who knows what happens to Bobby Lashley afterwards. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander have been out of the Hurt Business for one episode? Not even an episode. And they're already in this jobber battle royal on SmackDown. Like, I don't know. Obi James says, I heard the Thunderdome will go until August. Oh God, that's 4 more months, man. That's so long. The Thunderdome is literally the worst. Knowledge Divine says, love Drew, but we've already lived through his reign. I want to live in the almighty era for a bit. Me too, man. Me too. Very well said. I agree. And I would have loved to have the Hurt Business by his side as well. Anthony says, AOW, by this time, get Drew off my TV. Give Bobby a title run. Yes. Ashton says, I've been seeing comments saying Drew's boring. I don't think he's boring. Personally, I don't think that he's boring. I do see a lot of faults in things, though. Like, I mean, WWE does this a lot. I don't know if it's a Thunderdome thing as to why they've done it, but they've really spruced up everyone's entrances, and I feel like it really takes away from like more special events. So for like Bobby Lashley, like his entrance is cool, but you should save those big like lightning strikes and stuff like that for WrestleMania or like pay-per-views. Drew and the sword thing, like I really don't feel like Drew McIntyre should come out with a giant sword and shove it into the stage every single time he comes out. I don't think it's necessary because it makes it feel less special. So if that was just a pay-per-view thing, like, you know what's going down. When Drew comes out in the panties and the kilt and he's holding that sword up in the air, you know what's going down. You know what's about to happen. So I don't think it should happen on a random episode of Raw when he's taking on The Miz. Marcel says, to be fair, Omega does the same thing with his entrance. Yes, but the difference being that Omega is a asshole heel that's completely full of himself, who is called the professional wrestling god, or the god of professional wrestling at the moment. So you have that over the top entrance from Justin Roberts and all that stuff. Like, it's a part of the persona. You know what I mean? Cody is a perfect one. Cody's entrance is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. They don't need that whole like epic music before everything. And they don't need him like coming up out of the stage and like the chandeliers coming up and everything. Like, save those for pay-per-views. Save those for pay-per-views. They're so much cooler. So much cooler. Myself first says, I need a Shane McMahon title run to see a new WWE Raw Underground belt. Oh, God. I would stop watching. I would literally stop watching. Ryan says, it's a shame because I liked Drew's booking up until the feud with Randy ended. Yeah. The Randy Orton feud was pretty brutal for some of it. It was too long. Like, most of the feuds that we're getting in WWE right now is too long. Too long. They just keep running them back and back and back and back and back. James says, this Monday will mark the 1-year anniversary of the day of... This is such good shit. Enigma says, SmackDown is honestly just too painful to watch. Yeah, this one I was not a fan of. I was not a fan of this one. Anthony says, in the fact that MVP kind of called Matt Riddle gay on Raw Talk, did he really? Rocco says, what do you think would be your realistic breaking point to stop covering Raw? We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm on the edge of it now. Like, Raw is just not good. But you know, I know it. I'm going to get to that point where I'm like, you know what? I'm done watching Raw. And I'm not going to cover it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to pay attention. And then I'm going to have 87 messages saying like, bro, why didn't you watch Raw tonight? It was the best thing in the world. And like, I'm going to miss something incredible. And then I'm going to be pissed. And then, so I don't know. Realistically, I don't want to stop watching it. Realistically, I don't want to stop covering it. But I do kind of want to adjust my content a little bit. I want to grow more, and like recently I've just focused more on just like covering shit instead of like creating content. So I want to create more unique content. I want to create more videos for things. Like, I really want to focus on doing a lot of videos for YouTube and stuff like that. I want to create more cool like graphics and visuals for things, with like statistics, you know, like the whole Big E graphic in the Intercontinental Championship. And I think I did one for Bobby Lashley in the United States Championship. So like, I like doing those things. I kind of want to do more of those things. So I don't know, just I want to have a mixture of everything. I kind of want to make a couple more accounts as well for a couple of things, you know, just like part of me wants to have a page that is just pure results. Like that's it. That is it. Just exactly what happened. Live coverage, exactly how I do it, but with no input, no nothing. Just Natalya beat Shayna Baszler. That's it. Daniel Bryan beat Jey Uso in a street fight at the main event to close out the show. Just like really bare bones things. Like I kind of want to make another account for that and have those and just do like multiple different things. But we'll see. We'll see. Basili says, well, let's talk about Bobby Lashley for a second. First off, when he came back to WWE, VK and promised Bobby Lashley he will fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Right, that hasn't happened. That's right. That has not happened. And guess what? This is another perfect time to have that happen. Ryan says they screwed up the Drew and AJ feud last December. Should have been so much better. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Looks like AJ is going to be tag team champion, though. Knowledge says, could we deactivate the women's tag titles, make Shayna a dominant MMA single star, and get Nia and Reginald off my TV and out of my women's title rivalries? I wish. I feel like that would make these shows so much better instantly with just that. James says, if AEW had WrestleMania 37, Darby Allin would do a coffin drop off the Raymond James pirate ship. Yep. And now it's probably going to be Kevin Owens. Be Kevin Owens. Oh God, my chat scrolled and now I can't find where I was. Marcel says AEW's breaking point is Gold as a double champion, Big Oof as a double champion, and Shane and The Miz as double tag champs. Oh God, dude. If I even saw that becoming a possibility, I would have certainly stopped watching at that point for sure. Flash says the turning point is Big as Raw Women's Champion, Shane as the WWE Champion, and Humberto Carrillo as the US Champ and Retribution as Tag Champs. Oh, that sounds terrible. Ashton says it takes a lot for me to quit watching. Breaking Up the Hurt Business was my breaking point. It sucks, man. It sucks because they were so good. They had a lot of life left in them. They had a lot of life left in them. Basili says, now after being thrown through horrible storylines with Bobby Lashley, the Sami Zayn storyline where he brought sisters out, and that horrible storyline between Lashley and Rusev. Oh yeah, Lashley and Rusev, man, that was god awful. Like, why do they keep coming up with things that are so bad? My god, dude. Can't believe it. I saw first says, do you believe Vince is sabotaging WWE on purpose? I have heard of people, I mean, I guess this would just be a theory or a rumor, I guess, whatever you would want to call it. I've heard of him doing such a thing so that someone could just acquire the entire company, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If I had to guess, I would just say that it's an old man that is out of touch and that he just thinks that he's so great because of what he has done in the past. And of course, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him and the crazy shit that he's done throughout the years. All the stuff in the Attitude Era, his feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin, like all of that. Like, I'll never take any of that away from Vince McMahon ever, because at one point he was incredible and he did get us where we are today. But today is not the same as where we were back then. And viewership tells you that. I'm so sick and tired of the arguments that people don't watch TV anymore, because that's not true. It's not true. And you shouldn't be proud of your aspects doing well in other places over traditional television. If they cared so much about their YouTube numbers, they should just put their shows on YouTube. These episodes of Raw and SmackDown should be catered towards network television, cable television, where they are, and they should have moments to be shared across social media and YouTube. They should have segments for that. You having 50 billion YouTube streams, plays, whatever you want to call it, doesn't make your show any better. It's really frustrating. Rocco says, I just watched the Owen Zayn segment, and what are they doing with Logan at Mania? Marcel says that Dave Meltzer says he's going to be the special guest referee. James says, I don't know if the Sami Zayn dancing gif is going to either haunt my dreams or motivate my dreams. I also think Sami Zayn was also dancing to your streaming soon song. Oh man, I should have put that up there. That would have been hilarious. That'd have been great. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Why not? Ashley says, why not stream Raw on Twitch? Impact does. Yeah, why not? If that's what it's all about, why not? You know, I'm kind of surprised that WWE doesn't have Twitch. Because they could make, I'm sure they could make a fortune from it, from just airing shit on there. Just random stuff like Impact does. Kind of having like a, well, I guess they have the free tier of the WWE network now where you can watch things, but they could certainly put like, just have like a stream of old matches, old segments just running 24/7 like Impact does. I would bet that they'd get a ton of bits and they'd get a ton of memberships through there. They'd probably make a killing just from having that. I'm not sure how difficult something like that would be to run though, but who knows? Victor says VCam doesn't want wrestlers to hold the company hostage, so when the wrestler characters start taking a life of their own, he sabotages them and cuts them down. I would agree. I would certainly agree on that. Yep. I think that they're certainly scared of people leaving to not only new companies or other companies, but to places such as Hollywood and stuff like that. There is, I think my fiance was telling me that Charlotte is in a new Walking Tall movie. That's a remake of the movie or whatever. And they're considering making it a series and they want her to be in it. So they could certainly lose her to Hollywood. I think Roman Reigns has some offers on the table as well, if I remember correctly. Becky Lynch probably has some offers on the table as well. So, you know, Hollywood's been a real bitch to WWE at times. They lost The Rock. They lost John Cena. So they could certainly lose more. But I think that that's a good thing. Like it's natural for people to progress. It's natural for people to overcome things and become larger than those things. And if that's the case, you just have to have those people who will never forget where they came from. So if Roman Reigns transcends WWE and becomes a huge movie star, he can always come back and draw you incredible ratings. Flash says, AOW, I have to drop it here. Thank you so much for the show. Shout out to the guys in the chat. I hope you can drop that Nigerian drum picture at the end. And as always, remember the hangman fucks. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night, my friend. Marcel says, but they need larger than life stars. They have money. Just pay them more. Yeah, so I mean, but that's the whole thing, though, is that with the Peacock deal now, they have no incentive. And it still needs to be a video because I don't think that a lot of people understand this. I don't think that we're at a point where WWE feels the need to be better. They don't have, like, they can just continue to do what they're doing and they'll be just fine. They'll be just fine. Ratings wise, they'll probably dip, you know, but money wise, they're secure. And to be honest, even if Monday Night Raw dips even lower, their demo scores are over double, I believe. No, not double. If I remember correctly, when I looked at it on Wednesday, I think they were like 13 points above 2, and then like 20 points above 3, and then like over double the rest of them. So even if they continue to drop viewership and hit record lows, Monday Night Raw is still number 1, 2, and 3 on cable television for Mondays. Nearly every single week. Every week. So they can continue to keep running these shit shows and they're still going to get paid. There's no incentive to do better. There's no incentive to pay $1 million to have your Brock Lesnar come back and face Bobby Lashley, because guess what? The amount of money they get is coming either way. If they're guaranteed, let's say that WWE is guaranteed to get $100 million from WrestleMania. And let's say it's going to cost them $10 million to run the shows. $10 million. That's without anyone extra coming in or whatever. That's just what it costs. So, if you're going to profit $90 million from your show, no matter what incentive do you have to bring in other people? You can bring in Brock Lesnar. Let's say it costs $1 million to bring in Brock Lesnar. So now you're paying 11. Now you're making less. For what? You're still only getting 100, period. It doesn't matter. Even if Brock comes in and, a kajabillion people sign up for Peacock and NBC Universal makes a fortune, they're still only paying $100 million. So every time you have these bigger superstars come in, they're literally taking money out of your pocket. So it makes sense that they're not having these people there. Ronda Rousey probably could have been here. Brock Lesnar should have been here. The Rock would have been really cool to have here. Like, if our main events were Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, and then like Roman Reigns versus The Rock for the Universal Championship or something like that, that would have been crazy. Crazy. So it just all has to tie in with their numbers being fixed. They get a set amount of money for Raw. They get a set amount of money for NXT. They get a set amount of money for SmackDown. And now they get a set amount of money for the WWE Network from NBC Universal. It's all guaranteed. And it's all a specific number. I don't know exactly what they are, but it's all a specific number, and it doesn't go up and it doesn't go down. So there's literally no incentive to pay more to have crazier things. There's no incentive to pay more for bigger stars. Now, how they got Logan Paul and Bad Bunny on here, I have no idea. I don't know if they actually paid them a fortune or not. I don't know if it's some sort of other deal, but WWE is certainly going to be profiting off of them on YouTube, I can imagine. Vanch, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Pride says the main roster has been failing bad. Yes, very bad. Ashton says Vince only cares about his money. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Rocco says supposedly Charlotte and Becky will be Hollywood bound. Yep, I can definitely see that happening. Definitely see it. And it shouldn't be something that you're scared of. It shouldn't. You should be happy for that, because that means that they're extremely popular. That means that you have built them up to be stars or whatever it is. And you should hope that they'll go and do their things and come back. There's no reason that Charlotte can't take off 3 or 4 months to go shoot a movie and then return. There's no reason that Becky can't take off a month or 2 to shoot a movie and return. TV show and return. Like, it's all very possible. And then being on those other products allows them to promote these. So it's a win-win situation. Like, the same thing happened with Kathy Kelly and now Charlie Caruso. They did what they did. And I guess Renee Paquette as well. Renee Young, if you want to call her that. They did what they did for so long. There was no more room for them to grow. And so they left to go do something else. Charlie is with ESPN now, and it fits perfect. It's perfect. It makes sense. I don't know what Kathy Kelly's doing, but, Renee is doing her own podcast stuff. She's doing a cookbook. Like, she's doing all of this stuff that WWE wouldn't allow her to do. So it makes sense to me. Makes sense. I saw first as AOW, since we've never seen your face, which current or past wrestler would you believe you may look like facial wise? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. People have seen my face though. I've put myself on that Sting gif where he takes off the mask and it's his face.
I put my face on that. There's one of Father Rollins like opening his arms. That is actually my face imposed on that. And I think there's one of Otis slapping his belly, and I put my face on that too. It is those were, I was not lying on those. That is actually my face on those. Swayze says, do you think Daniel Bryan will win? He has what it takes. I do not. I think that Daniel Bryan was added to that match to take the pin. I think that Edge will walk out as Universal Champion. Vance says, now I won't mind if Edge wins that match. I think that's what's going to happen. I would plan on Edge winning the Universal Championship. I would have him pin Daniel Bryan, and then you could probably have some sort of Edge and Roman Reigns thing. Marcel says, how do I find these photos? I have no clue, dude. You would just have to look. Instagram does not have a really good search feature for those. So, I don't know. You just have to scroll and find them. I don't think I have them saved on my phone anymore. If I do, maybe I'll repost one of them, or maybe I'll make another one. Zach says, I turned SmackDown off after Edge's opening segment. Judging by your IG, I didn't miss much, and I'm about an hour late. So how are you tonight, Detective? I'm good, man. Thank you for tuning in, Zach. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it wasn't very good. You didn't really miss anything. We're gonna talk about it here in just a minute. Oh yeah, well, actually we need to talk about it and go through it, because I do need to get off here shortly. Philip says, let's talk about Edge. You need to wrestle more. You could have wrestled tonight. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Edge wrestle more, for sure. Marcel says, when was the last time you posted? It was a long time ago. I don't know exact dates, but it was a long time ago. Ryan says, if Bryan wins, people are definitely booing him. Yeah, I would probably think so too. I would think so. I would expect Edge to win, for sure. Which is weird, because I feel like I wouldn't take the title off of Roman Reigns. I feel like Vince fought so hard for him to be where he is today. So it's kind of weird to think about them taking the title off of him. Knowledge says, I hope Roman wins because I'm still interested in feuds with guys like Big E and Cesaro. I think those would be interesting feuds for him, especially with Big E. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Rocco says, I'm not even hyped for Cesaro versus Rollins because, like, no matter who wins, it's not like they'll do anything major after. It's just another match to me. I'm excited for Cesaro and Rollins. I hope that Cesaro wins. Hopefully it goes well afterwards. I don't know, though. Anthony says, I have faith that Bobby will win at Mania, or why would they have Bobby beat Miz for the title? Probably because there's no way that they could have the Miz legitimately hold it for that long. He's lost all of his matches. There was no credible way that they could have him hold that championship for that amount of time. Even the way that they did, like the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it was that they got through, even that was too long. And I think they knew that. Vance says, as next week is TakeOver and Dynamite, so are you still going to cover both shows or just one of them? I'm still going to cover both shows, but next week I will be covering TakeOver more closely than Dynamite, and the post show will actually be a NXT TakeOver post show, not a Dynamite post show. So we might talk about Dynamite on the show, but it will be NXT focused. They are running a legit pay-per-view, so it only makes sense to cover that more. I saw first says Twitch should be the exclusive home of WWE Raw Underground. Oh boy. Oh boy. Zach says, I'm glad you're well. Always a pleasure to be here. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. We're going to have a little bit of a shorter show tonight. I got to run through this show because we got some things to do tonight before tomorrow. So let's go ahead and talk about the show now. It's been over an hour for sure. I'm not going to linger too long around all of these topics. Not a lot of stuff happened, if I'm being honest. Like, especially nothing important. Nothing important happened, really. So I should be able to fly through this fairly quickly, or somewhat quickly, if you will. Let me reload here so I got all my matches up here. Victor says, are you doing a prediction for TakeOver? Yes, there will be a predictions video for every single night of TakeOver and WrestleMania. And those will be coming up soon. I might record I want to get them out fairly soon, so I might record them tomorrow, my takeover predictions, and I might release them on Sunday and Monday. That way there's a little bit of room, and then I might do the WrestleMania ones on Tuesday so that I can release them on like Wednesday and Thursday or something, so that there's enough time for people to watch them. But yeah, they're coming. They're coming. And if, you know, we might on Friday for the go home show SmackDown, we might do like a weird crossover predictions thing event where we kind of just talk about all of WrestleMania and all of that. We'll see though. It's going to be a crazy week nonetheless. Crazy week. James says, I watched WrestleMania 20 to check if they have Chris Benoit on Peacock, and they do. Good. Manny says, just arrived. What did people think of the show? I have 3 out of 5 stars show. Pretty average. I'd put it probably at like 2, 1.5, 2. I did not like tonight's show at all. I did not. Ryan says, don't you mean WrestleMania SmackDown? Yes. Yes, whatever this third night of WrestleMania is. Jesus. These guys are crazy, man. These guys are crazy. So this year, WrestleMania is too big for 2 nights. So they're having WrestleMania SmackDown and then night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania. And then while I was watching SmackDown, I saw a preview for NXT TakeOver. And they again said that this time TakeOver is too big for 1 night. So now they're having a 2-night TakeOver. This company is wild, man. Wild. Anthony says, not going to lie, if Robert Roode looked like David Hasselhoff with pink underwear. It's interesting. Very interesting. Marcel says, Twitter is exactly blowing up because of Logan Paul. Fun fact, Dynamite this week had more Twitter interactions than SmackDown this week. Crazy. I wouldn't know how to calculate such a thing, but that's crazy. Smackmania, that's what we call it. I like that. I like that much better. Okay, so tonight, let's talk about the show. If you're here and you haven't already subscribed yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure to hit that like button as well. I see someone came in here and they hit the dislike button. Shame on you. Shame on you, disliker. How dare you? How dare you do such a thing? Also, if you want to support the channel, you can join and you can become a member today. You can become a fellow disciple. We will be offering cool things only for members here in the future, and you get a cool exclusive emote. A little too sweet emote from me, created just for me. Also, super chats are open as well. Everything is going to the camera fund for the face reveal. It will be crazy. It will be crazy because I will be sitting here with like floodlights blasting on my face, whereas opposed to right now, I'm just sitting here in the dark. Sitting here in the dark. So that'll be an interesting experience, but let's go ahead and get into the show. So tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown started off with Edge. Nice to see. Very nice to see. Glad it's not Roman Reigns. They've definitely strayed away from that a little bit lately. Love to see it. Always happy about that. So Edge comes out here, gives a promo. Very good promo, by the way. And he says that the Rated R Superstar has returned. I saw first says, good night, AOW. Early night for me. Thanks for a great podcast. Thank you, man, for tuning in. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night. Let's see here. Anthony says, subscribe or gold will jackhammer you. Yes. Ashley says they put the SmackDown Tag Team titles on an episode of SmackDown and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as well. It's crazy. Van says in the Stone Cold podcast, so Jericho, you want a beer? Jericho, no, I had a little bit of the bubbly. Hopefully they exchange and they drink both. Marcel says, goddamn, everyone's turning on New Japan because of their belts. Are they doing something else shitty on there? So yeah, fantastic promo from Edge here. He says that the Rated R Superstar has returned. So now it looks like we have 2 full-on heels and 1 kind of like half a heel babyface type deal going on here. So Roman Reigns defends his Universal Championship against Edge and Daniel Bryan, still in a triple threat. Also, WWE announced that the main event for tonight would be Daniel Bryan taking on Jey Uso in a street fight. Why? Why is Daniel Bryan taking on Jey Uso for the 5th time? This was Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso's 5th singles match. 5th singles match and their 7th overall match. Recently, not of all time, just recently, which is absolutely insane. Like, I get the whole thing of like your tribal chief Roman Reigns and like main event Jey Uso, the guy that's supposed to be there to stop you, but he's not stopping anyone. Like, Jey Uso has screwed people out of winning the WWE Championship in those matches that he has not participated in, but the matches that he participates in, he loses. Which, yes, he does. He puts on great matches. There's nothing against that. Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso, a match between them is great. No complaints, right? But why are they continuing to say like, oh, well, he got to go through main event Jey Uso? Why? He's already beat him. I think Jey Uso, so the first time that they started to push Jey Uso as like main event Jey Uso, he fought Daniel Bryan and he beat Daniel Bryan. But the rest of the times, I'm pretty sure that Daniel Bryan was the one that won. So like, why do we have to continue this? They're literally continuing this for no reason. And, you know, at the beginning of this whole Roman Reigns tribal chief stuff and having Jey Uso be a part of it, it was always about the family. It was always about not having the family be disrespected in any way. Losses were not cool with your tribal chief. All right. You had to win. So what happened between then and now where Roman Reigns, the Mr. Head of the table, doesn't care anymore that Jey Uso just continues to lose week after week after week after week? Like, that part of the story is just completely gone. It's just been forgotten about. I don't understand why. If they wanted to do stuff like this, they should have Jey Uso go up against other people. He can be involved in other things. He doesn't have to fight the same people for 3 months. It's crazy. It was like, so the whole like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns feud, it was like, well, the feud's going to continue, but, you know, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns will fight at the pay-per-views, but Kevin Owens has to go through Jey Uso every single week on SmackDown to get to Roman Reigns at the pay-per-view. It just didn't connect anymore. It's just like, I'm so over it. And everyone's excuse is like, oh, well, it's the main event, so Jimmy Uso is going to return. But Jimmy Uso never returns. Like, he's not here. So they just keep doing this stuff over and over again. And to me, it just doesn't connect. Ashton says, when's the last time Jey Uso won a match? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. It probably wasn't very long ago. But I'll tell you. Let's see here. So, oh, okay. It has been a while here. So Jey Uso beat Kevin Owens on November 6th. Ooh. Damn. That's crazy. And the week before that, October 30th, Jey Uso beat Daniel Bryan. And then, what, 2 weeks before that or so, on October 2nd, Jey Uso beat AJ Styles. Let me look at his match statistics. Oh, man. Jey Uso's win-loss record in 2021. Man has had 7 matches, 0 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. Yet here he is. Yikes. Good Lord. Bosley says Bobby just said he'll be in the main event. I wonder what match will open up the show then. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair? I don't know. Anthony says Daniel Bryan, the leader of the babyface. Ryan says, reminds me of when they ran back Mox versus Drew every week leading up to WrestleMania 35. I hate seeing the same matches over and over and over and over again. It's so frustrating. Even though like they're still good, it's still frustrating to see. What is my win-loss record? 50 million wins and 0 losses, of course. Respectfully. Elver says, one of the only Mania matches I think they've been building up well and that I'm excited for is Father Rollins and Cesaro. Yep, I'd agree. I think the triple threat match has been built up pretty well. There's just a couple missteps that I think are just kind of frustrating more than anything else. I'm sure that match will be incredible, though. Ashton says that's terrible. Yeah, not not a good win-loss record going on here for Jey Uso. See, this is kind of the stuff that I want to bring to people's attention and stuff as well. When I talk about creating content, like I want to do those Biggie Intercontinental Championship graphics and stuff. Like I want to put Jey Uso's 2021 win-loss record. I want to put Jey Uso's last 10 matches, like who his last 10 opponents were. So you can kind of get an overall picture of everything, because I don't think that people necessarily understand how wonky things are in WWE right now. Like they're just so bananas, so off of the wall, like nothing connects. But when you look at these numbers and you look at these statistics, you just look at it and you're like, bro, what? What? Edge and Daniel Bryan. Sure, I'll look at Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman. I'll look at those real quick and then we'll move on. Edge is 3-0, 3 wins, 0 losses for 2021. Roman Reigns is 3 wins, 0 losses in 2021. Daniel Bryan Daniel Bryan is 15 matches, 8 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. Which I'm assuming a draw probably means a disqualification, if I had to guess. So next up was the tag team 8-man tag match that they had. It was Chad Gable and Otis teaming up with everyone's favorite uncles, Ziggy and Uncle Rob. And then they were taking on the Mysterio family, Dominik and Rey, and the Street Profits. So we saw this match 2 weeks ago. The same exact match happened. Super frustrating. I completely forgot that we saw this match. But they have no idea what they're doing with their tag team division. So they just said, screw it. We'll just throw every single person in the mix and we'll just have ourselves a fatal 4-way or a 4-way tag team championship match. So Otis was able to be dominant here and get the win for his team. That, again, being Otis, Chad Gable, and everyone's favorite uncles, Rob and Ziggy. So not a bad match by any means, but very uninteresting when we're talking about something that we've seen a week before and we're about to see once again next week. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, I'm really just tired of it. I really wish that they would do other things. The way that they booked, I mean, at least they have a couple tag teams in SmackDown so that they can somewhat maneuver around, if you want to call it that. But even the booking from, like, what was it, last week or the week before, something like that, where they had a tag match between, like, I think it was Otis and the Street Profits or something, and Otis beat the Street Profits, but then the Mysterios beat Otis and Gable, and then, like, I don't know, people got shots at the titles, but it didn't really, like, make sense or connect. It was like, what? What? So, I don't know. Ashley says, how did Uncle Rob and Ziggy come about? I have no idea, if I'm being honest. I cannot remember. I want to say that it had to do with his SmackDown hat and his glasses, but I can't remember. I feel like it was so long ago that it started. Elvis says Cesaro and Big E will be world champions within the next 2 years. I hope. God, I hope. Next up, we had a face-to-face promo thing-majig here between Father Rollins in his cotton candy sky suit and Cesaro. So, of course, they just did the same old thing. They did the Cesaro jokes about swinging and Father Rollins being pissed off. I'm not going to lie. I was even a little bit pissed off here. I thought that they were going to have them wrestle on tonight's show, and I was like, You have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You better keep these guys separated. Thankfully, they did. They just went away. So this is one of the matches that I'm really looking forward to for WrestleMania. Father Rollins is extremely talented. Like, he puts on some fantastic matches. Sure, he can be a little soft on social media sometimes, but his matches are typically very good. And Cesaro is also very, very good in the ring. So I hope that this is all to bring up Cesaro to that main event level where he should have been years and years and years ago. In my wrestling promotion, Cesaro would have been a multi-time world champion. Easily. So I'm looking forward to this, and I really hope and I pray that Cesaro goes over Father Rollins. Obi James says Seth Drippin' Rollins makes a return. Yes, those crazy suits, man. They're like they're so crazy. Like, they're just so out of this world. Knowledge says it continues to astound me how dead the tag team division is in WWE, and they don't even feel bad about it. They're proud of it, from what I see. Yeah, it seems like they're proud of it. It's crazy. Ashton says Seth's suit looks like tie-dye threw up on it. It really does. It really does. Warrior says, whoever taught Seth the term drip, they both need to be stopped. Yeah, he has gone off like crazy with the Seth Drippin' Rollins type stuff. It's crazy. James says they'll probably make the Raw after WrestleMania the fourth night. God, I hope not. And I hope that they change a bunch of things after WrestleMania. I hope that there are some sort of call-ups, if you want to call them, continue to call them that. Hopefully some people from NXT can move to Raw or SmackDown and change the landscape a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing another shake-up either. I wouldn't mind seeing some people switch brands. I think, it's always best for business doing something like that. Elver says, I'd love for Father Rollins to come out with the Messiah entrance music at Mania. I like Burn It Down, but it's kind of gotten old and it doesn't fit his character. Yeah, I would kind of agree that it doesn't fit his character, but I always got his other music confused with Bailey's. So I'm not mad at them going back with the Burn It Down. And they'll surely going to want that for WrestleMania because they're going to want people to scream Burn It Down. Ashton says, hey, OW, didn't you say you had things to do in an hour? Yes, I do have things that I have to go do, but duty calls and we got to run through this show. As quick as possible. I was expecting to be between an hour and a half, and we're about at an hour and a half. So we'll just run through the rest of it. Okay, so next up here we had, oh man, this pains me to say it. I gotta talk about it. Natalya beat Shayna Baszler in probably less than 20 seconds. What in the world is going through everyone's minds as they're booking the main roster women's division? The main roster women's division is so bad all around. Singles, tag, I don't care. It is terrible. We have reverted back to the Divas era. The Divas era. Even on Monday Night Raw, they had like 2 or 3 minutes of women on TV. Evan says, I refuse anybody saying AEW's women's division is worse than WWE. Yeah, 100%. Like, the Raw and SmackDown women's division are terrible. They are god awful at this point. They should be ashamed of themselves for doing all of this. And if I'm Charlotte, if I'm Becky, Sasha, Bailey, like, I'm pissed. I am pissed that I worked so hard to get the WWE women's division to where it was, only to revert back to 20-second matches. This is absolute garbage. And we have a Raw Women's Championship, a SmackDown Women's Championship, and WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And this is the best that they can do. 20 seconds. Natalya beats Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler the dominant NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler. You know what? I got cage match open. I can't. I'm gonna regret doing this. Shayna Baszler. I don't want to see this win-loss record. It's gonna be terrible. Here we go. It's actually not as bad as I thought. So Shayna Baszler has had 21 matches in 2021. She's won 11 of them, lost 8 of them, and has had 2 draws or 2 disqualifications. But I bet you all of those have to do with Big being involved in them. So Naomi defeats Shayna Baszler in 2 minutes. Let's see here. Let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at all of her L's. Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler ends in a DQ in 1 minute. Asuka defeats Shayna Baszler in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Bianca Belair defeats Shayna Baszler in 4 minutes. Charlotte Flair defeats Shayna Baszler in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Shayna Baszler defeats Lana in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Naomi defeats Shayna Baszler in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm almost through her. Charlotte Flair versus Shayna Baszler ends in a disqualification in 1 minute. Shayna Baszler defeats Mandy Rose in 3 minutes and 44 seconds. I don't remember this. Dana Brooke defeats Shayna Baszler in 40 seconds. So it looks like, I think, two of Shayna Baszler's, 8? Yes, 2 of 11 of Shayna Baszler's wins are actually her wins. The other ones were tag matches where Big is the one that got the win. Come on, man. Come on. Oh my God, dude. Shayna Baszler. Oh, I feel so bad. All right, I hate doing it, but I'm going to look up Big while we're on the subject as well. Oh, Jesus. So on the other spectrum, Big has had 14 matches in 2021. She's had 10 wins and 4 losses. Let's see what her losses are. So she lost to Sasha Banks in 6 minutes and 7 seconds. That was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. She lost to Bianca Belair, Reginald, and Sasha Banks in that one match. And she lost to Lana in the tables match. And she lost to Charlotte Flair by disqualification in a 10-minute and 50-second match. Ooh. Yeah, none of them 5 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is absolutely insane. They need to get a grasp on their women's division because this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. And this just tells you that all of the stuff about the women's revolution and stuff where they're like, oh, we do all of this because we're so forward and we love our women's division, is just a crock of shit. That pay-per-view that they ran was just a crock of shit as well. It was just to ease the pain of the people that were mad that the women weren't allowed to be in Saudi Arabia, but yet they acted like they were so forward and they're like, oh, we care about them so much that they deserve their own pay-per-view and everything else. This is how their women's division is booked. It's terrible. Terrible. Evan says AEW at least gives their women more than 5 minutes and multiple segments. Yeah, and this is something that I'm going to talk about soon. I'm going to make a video. It's going to be my first by the numbers video. And I want to talk about, I think I'm going to talk about Impact, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Dynamite. I want to take all 5 of those shows and I want to just take out I want to extract the women's matches. And I want to see who features the women more, how long the matches are, and I want to rank each one of them by that because I think that Raw and SmackDown are going to be at the bottom of that list by a long shot. And it'll be very interesting to see. And I want to do it before we get too far into the year, because I want to try to do it for the entire year. So I want to take every episode of Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff, and do averages and stuff. Evan says, I'll DM you an account for women's in-ring wrestling times and stuff. I've got a great account for you. Does all the work for you. Cool. Yeah. Marcel, yeah, I can DM that to you if you want afterwards. Yeah, I'll check that out after the show. Ashley says, whatever happened to the Mae Young Classic? I have no clue, man. Knowledge says NXT's women's division is miles better. Oh, without a doubt. 100%. Marcel says, what's the best name, Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite? Or NXT or Dynamite? I've always liked Raw. I've always liked, I think Raw's War is really cool. I've always liked that a lot. Jan says, hey, OW, how you doing, mate? Just joined. Sorry for being late. No worries, my friend. No worries. We're just, we're probably about halfway through the show, but I got to kind of wrap it up. So anyways, after Natalya gets this win here, it's an all-out brawl between women from every single brand. Well, not every single brand, but Raw and SmackDown. So we have Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke here. We have Naomi and Lana. We have the Riot Squad out here. I don't know. There's going to be some sort of women's thing going on at WrestleMania or on SmackDown next week for the WrestleMania edition of SmackDown. Van says, can you imagine 6 months later Rhea Ripley getting pinned by Natalya? Yeah, I can see it. I could definitely see it at this point. Rhea Ripley is not safe. She is not safe currently. Evan says Liv Morgan needs to get out of there. I couldn't agree more. Liv Morgan is so good. You know, I was excited when they did the whole bathtub thing with her. She was on her own. She was going to be doing her own thing. And then we spent all that time building for that weird lesbian Lana loving angle just for her to be right back in the Riot Squad. It made no sense. It was just a huge waste of time. Jan says, can you tell me what is a Nigerian drum fight? I have no clue, dude. No clue. I could not tell you. Next up was the red carpet premiere of Sami Zayn's trailer for his documentary. I actually liked this segment. Surprisingly. I thought it was great. One of the things that is a part of Sami's documentary where they were talking about the earth being flat. Once I heard that, I just couldn't stop laughing because I couldn't stop thinking about the time when they were making fun of AJ Styles for thinking about the world being flat. And he's like, look, I don't necessarily think it's flat, but everything doesn't make sense or whatever it was. I couldn't get that out of my head. So of course I love that. Every time I hear flat earth, I just think of AJ Styles. I can't help it. It's hilarious. So Logan Paul wasn't really feeling like Sami Zayn had been wronged in so many ways. He was kind of beating around the bush, saying that he liked the production value. He can tell that he worked very hard on it, yada, yada, yada. Sami Zayn invited him to be his guest to WrestleMania as well, and he accepted. So like the title of the show says, Logan Paul is headed to WrestleMania, but we're not quite sure what capacity. Marcel did say that Dave Meltzer thinks that he's going to be a special guest referee. So I could see that happening. I could see him being in Sami Zayn's corner, and Kevin Owens maybe will powerbomb him through something or attack him or something like that. I could see that happening as well. But anyways, at the end of this, Kevin Owens sneaks up behind Sami Zayn, hits him with a stunner, and then just tells him that he's being foolish, he's being dumb. None of this makes any sense whatsoever, and that he loves him. He's been his friend for 15 years, and if he can't get it across him through words, he's going to have to beat it out of him. That's his only option. So we'll see. Evan says Liv Morgan would be another Ty Conti situation where she will be a star somewhere else. Dude, I can't explain how crazy it is to see Ty Conti over in AEW. She's so good. And in NXT, I didn't give a shit about her. I never looked twice at Tainara Conti. I didn't care, but she is killing it now. She is so good over there in AEW. So good. I agree with you. I definitely think that Liv Morgan could shine elsewhere. I mean, look at what they had Deonna Purrazzo doing. Jobbing out to Big all the time. And all of that crap that they had her doing. And now look at her. She's like in top contention for one of the longest reigning Knockouts champion in Impact history of combined reigns. She's like number 7 or something like that, I saw. Ashton says, I'm still hoping for Sarah Logan to return one day and form a face Riot Squad. Yeah, I mean, I hated the Riot Squad when they debuted, but they've certainly grown with me over time. Certainly. Rocco says Jeff Hardy was IC champion last summer and Miz was champion 3 weeks ago. Look at where they are now. No good. No good at all. Marcel says, was Ty a regular in NXT? I don't believe so. No. I think she was just on a couple episodes. Nothing crazy. I could be wrong, though. Warrior says the KO Sami story should have started a while ago. I agree. It definitely feels thrown together like, damn, we need something for this show. And I'm never mad at Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I love them together. Their chemistry is incredible. So, I mean, I can't complain about that, but I do agree. I wish that there was more to it. Evan says Deonna Purrazzo is one of the best women in the world, period. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's doing fantastic things over there in Impact. I'm very happy for her. Evan also says Ty was there for 4 years. She was a one night only member of Undisputed Era. I don't remember that. I was very like hit and miss with NXT back in the day when it was on the network. Like, I always really wanted to cover it, but the like social media following was like never really there for me to actually cover it all the time. Like, I even did a couple episodes of 205 Live and it just didn't connect. So I was like, I'm not doing this. Chloe says, you still live and Sami is still dancing. Yep, we still going. But I got to wrap it up. Like I said, got to wrap it up. Marcel says, by the way, I think Cole versus Kyle should be the main event. That'd be crazy. That match is going to be crazy. Mayan says, rumors are coming that on night 1 of WrestleMania, there would be a number 1 contenders match for the women's tag titles. And on night 2, the titles will be defended. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. You know, and I think that if that happens, I think Naomi and Lana will probably win them, if I had to guess. Evan says NXT on the network was a million times better than NXT now. Yeah, I feel like they'll never recapture that NXT moment from back in the day. Vance says, so how was tonight's SmackDown for you? It was not good. This was not a good show at all. There was a lot of stuff that made no sense. And it was just kind of a waste of time. James says, should Apollo Crews shorten his name to simply Apollo? I feel like it would fit the Nigerian Prince character better. His name was Apollo for just a little bit, wasn't it? Because like some dude murdered a bunch of people and his last name was Cruz, so they didn't want him to feel related or something like that. Ashton says NXT and 205 Live should be combined into one show. Sure. Rocco says, I don't hate Logan being at Mania. I just wish they used it on something other than KO and Zayn. I mean, I feel like it fits fine. I mean, like I said, I thought that was the best part of the show for me. So let's see. Next up, we had Bianca Belair taking on Reginald's old friend. You may remember her. Her name is Carmella. Not sure if you guys are familiar with her. You know Reginald, though, right? Reginald, the guy that's on our TV 2 times a week. This is his old friend, Carmella. You know, back in the day, she was the leader of him. He was her sommelier or whatever. Like, he would get her wine and stuff. I'm not quite sure if you remember Carmella, though. You know, the Carmella that they built up for weeks and weeks to randomly get 2 shots at Sasha Banks and her SmackDown Women's Championship, only to lose them, and then only for Reginald to get more TV time than her. That Carmella. So she lost in about 2 minutes to Bianca Belair here. Fine with that. I don't care. Like, Carmella is long gone for me in this moment. So Bianca Belair is on top of the world, kind of, if you want to say that, since she won the Women's Royal Rumble. But this is where I got bothered with this. So Bianca Belair wins, right? Sasha Banks comes up from behind and attacks her. Bianca Belair gets up, turns around, whatever, stands there and points at a sign. Not a sign, the WrestleMania sign. And then Sasha Banks is just like, yeah, you right. She's like, yeah, you right. And then she just backs off. She's just like chilling now. Like she's, what? Bro, I am living my life wrong. I just need to be standing here and pointing at things. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong here because this is crazy. Like, how do you go from attacking someone from behind to having them be like, point at the WrestleMania sign? And then you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm a heel. But even though I'm a heel, even though I'm a bad person, maybe I shouldn't attack them. And maybe I should just back off. This feud, man. I was so excited for Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble, and this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Obi James says the power of the point. Yes. We're all living our lives wrong. We just need to go out and point at things. You know what? Who knows? Maybe you could show up at WWE and just point at the sign as well. You know? Albert says, can't believe Bayley and Jeff Hardy aren't on the Mania card. Bayley had an awesome title reign in 2020, and Jeff Hardy was being featured regularly on SmackDown. Yep. I don't get it. Ashton says, I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. The WrestleMania sign. And I just had to point to it. Anthony says, I'm going to point at a stop sign and see what happens. Yeah, let us know. Let us know. Let us know what happens. This really bothered me. It drove me nuts. Absolutely nuts. Vance says, why are you complaining? It happens every time. Every time I get bullied by a bunch of geeks, I show them a WrestleMania sign and they don't bully me anymore. I mean, I guess, like I said, I'm just living my life wrong, man, I guess. I just, everyone needs to get a pocket WrestleMania sign and just point to it. James says AEW theme song intros are so long. Are they? That's not something I've noticed, I don't think. Other than Cody's and Kenny's, which we've talked about. Okay, so after this, WWE announced that Drew McIntyre will be taking on King Corbin on Monday Night Raw. You can tell how excited I am by the sound of my voice. How excited I am to see this clown King Corbin on Monday as well as Friday. Like, oh God, come on, give me a break. And this show has already been recorded, and I'm surprised that it hasn't leaked yet. What happens? I haven't seen it. So this is going to be one brutal go home episode of Monday Night Raw ahead of WrestleMania. But I can't wait. I can't wait to title my post show No Hype for WrestleMania. So excited for it. Punk says, if they remove the King stuff, I'm happy to see Baron Corbin. The King stuff is long overdue. Marcel says there has been one leak about the women's title situation. Oh. I just don't want to sit through it, man. Ashton says the guy who can't cook a steak. Yep, that's right. That is right. Rocco says your go home show for Raw, the last chance to make me hype for Mania, and you bring in the most boring person to build your huge feud. Right? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I really don't. Next up was a backstage segment here with Apollo Crews and Nigerian accent. And oh man, when I was done laughing, I found out that
Apollo Crews challenged Big E to a Nigerian drum fight at WrestleMania. Whatever that is. A Nigerian drum fight. I'm not sure what to expect from this. He mentioned people of his family or something like that lined up beating on drums. So is it just going to be like a bunch of people beating on drums and a singles match? Or is it going to be like a no disqualification? Are they going to beat each other up with Nigerian drums? I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect at all. I don't get it. It's frustrating. And you know, I think I said last week that the accent was growing on me, but here it bothered me so much. So much. Like I just couldn't get over how annoying it was. I don't like any of this. And you know, if I'm going to be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea how this match is going to go at WrestleMania, but I wouldn't be surprised if Apollo Crews won it. Wouldn't be surprised. So, you know, maybe if Apollo Crews does win it, maybe Big E can go on to challenge Edge or Roman Reigns or whoever it is that is going to be the Universal Champion. I don't know. Maybe Big E can go over to Raw and reunite with the New Day, and they can challenge Drew McIntyre or Riddle or Sheamus, whoever's going to have the United States Championship. I have no idea, man. I got no idea. James says, no hype for WrestleMania. The Why Vince Why edition. Yes. More so like this.
Confused right now. Oh my goodness.
This could be the worst event in wrestling history.
I'll never get over that. Never get over that. It's so good. So yeah, I mean, we didn't hear from Big E for the rest of the night, so I'm assuming they're going to wait till the SmackDown WrestleMania edition next week on Friday to answer that question, or they'll do it on social media. Hell, who knows? Maybe they've even done it since we're on the post show. Next up was the main event match here. Jey Uso taking on Daniel Bryan in a street fight. And of course, James says that's going to do it for me. Bye. Have a good rest of your night. Peace. Thanks, man, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I got to go too. I was like, this one's only going to be like an hour, and we still managed to be 2 hours. So I just have to work harder to get our stuff done after this. Marcel says, for some reason, I think Mania will be good just because of the talent. The booking is the only worry. Yeah, I'm hoping that the matches deliver. I really hope that they do. I'm sure they will. Oh my God, the yawns, man. The yawns. I'm sure the matches will be good, but it's just the hype for it it's not there. Like, I'm not excited for WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania season whatsoever. It never has felt like WrestleMania season. Anthony says that's going to do it for me. Remember, J Rocks. J Rocks. J Rocks. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I'm about to be out of here as well. But have a good rest of your night, my friend. Marcel says, because if you look at the match cards, the matches on paper look great, but the builds have been awful. Yeah, I would agree. Aside from some of them, like Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman, not really interested in that. I'm sure that Shane will probably get thrown off of something big or jump off of something big, typical Shane fashion, which will be cool. But like, you have people like Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black that are just sitting there, and this is what you do, like the whole stupid stuff and the whole train stuff. I don't get it. So yeah, next up, our main event match, Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso in a street fight. Why? I have no idea. I guess they're just trying to continue to have Daniel Bryan defy the odds, making it into this triple threat match. So overall, it was a good match. You know, of course, Daniel Bryan is the one that gets the win over Jey Uso. After the match, Daniel Bryan goes and attacks Edge, who was on commentary, hits him with the knees while he's on the chair. And it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Next up, he ran up towards the ramp. Roman Reigns was sitting there on the stage watching the match. Daniel Bryan went and attacked him as well, hit him with the running knees or whatever it is that he does, and then put him in the yes lock on the top of the ramp as well. Daniel Bryan then went back to the ring, got up on the top ropes, and did his yes chance. And that is how tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown went off the air. Daniel Bryan on top of Edge and Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, I guess, as well. So Daniel Bryan standing tall. Who will win, though? Who will win? If you ask me, I definitely think that Edge is going over at WrestleMania. And I think that Edge is going over Daniel Bryan. Makes sense to me. That's how I see that one happening. All right. That is it for me. I gotta go. I managed to save 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I was planning on this show only being an hour long, but we still managed to stretch it out to 2 hours. It is what it is. It is what it is. Chloe says, AOW, I can officially say I played as Batman against Batman. That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm very jealous. Very jealous about that. Marcel says AOW shows are better than main roster shows. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure hanging out and just chatting with you guys. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Van says here, but hey, by the way, a superstar like Baron Corbin on a show like Raw, boringness at its peak. It really is. It really is. And you know what? I promised Flash that I would put a Nigerian drum on the screen. Chloe says I got to DM you about some news. Yes, feel free to. I will check my DMs after this here. Let's put a Nigerian drum on the screen for our fellow disciple Flash, who is no longer here right now. He had to dip out early, but I told him I would do it. Let's do this one. This is a nice looking one. You have Sami trapped in an infinite dance. Imagine. I do. Drum. All right, this one's for you, Flash. Image. Drum. There you go. This, I am told, is a Nigerian drum. So there you go. There is your Nigerian drum to close out the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, I greatly appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. It's always a blast hanging out and chatting with you guys. We're going to have a crazy week next week. Crazy week. We have Raw, we have NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, all those usual things, but we also have 2 nights of NXT TakeOver. That is on Wednesday and Thursday. We have nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania as well. Also, we have the Broken Skull sessions, which is going to be on next Sunday before night 2 of WrestleMania as well. So there's a lot of things. There is a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to cover. There's going to be some videos, some predictions videos. And like I said, hopefully maybe next Friday we'll do some weird like hybrid thing of like a WrestleMania prediction show and like a SmackDown post show or something like that. Van says bye-bye and watch a movie named The Invisible Guest. It's an awesome movie. I'll have to check it out for sure. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try and get an NXT TakeOver video out on maybe like Sunday or Monday or something. But of course, we will be here on Monday for the Go Home edition of Monday Night Raw. It will be titled No Hype for WrestleMania. I hope to see you guys there. Greatly appreciate you guys. I will see you on Monday. Have a good rest of your night. Peace. And always remember, Hangman fucks.